Hello Taurus, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Taurus is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Taurus, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Okay, we've got a Knight of Swords. You're somebody with very quick decisions right now. You know, I don't think you hesitate to speak and to say and to state facts and to tell it like it is. I feel that you're very blunt. I feel right now you're not holding back with your words, which then makes me wonder, was there a time where you did? Right? I feel like you haven't always stood up for yourself. Okay. But now I think things are different. I think now you're focused on telling it like it is, being honest about what you want and how you feel, making decisions quickly in the sense that you're trusting yourself. There's not a lot of, well, I don't know what I want. No, this is what's happening. Right? So I feel like you've come into some sort of power. You know, I feel that you are you're enlightened in some way. Maybe you've had a spiritual experience, or you've had some sort of breakthrough emotionally, mentally, spiritually, that has led you to a greater confidence. And I see a big difference in you, because it feels like before maybe even you were a little bit shy. Maybe you didn't always speak up. Now I feel like you're the first one to raise your hand. You're the first one to volunteer and say, I've got the idea. I know the solution. I can do it. You know? And this feels really, really good. This feels amazing. Yeah. I feel like you're a real straight shooter. I feel like you are, you're a speaker of truth now. You know, not that you weren't before. I'm not calling you a liar. But I feel like maybe you weren't always so ready to share things. Maybe because of how people react, or maybe how you thought they'd react, or how they have reacted in the past. I feel now you're just like, this is me, this is who I am. Love it or leave it. Right? I love it. Let's see what else is going on. We did get this volunteer card. Let's see what that brings to the table. Some real ambition, some real devil energy. Definitely a big change in you. I feel like you've activated your ambition. This is your generative drive. This is the driving force of your being, right? This is your ability to see a mountain and climb the SOB, right? The devil doesn't really care what mountain it is, though, right? Because the devil kind of attaches itself to that mountain, and for that time, that's all there is in life. It's just you and the mountain, and you're climbing it. It's a real ambition. It's a real creative, energetic focus. Okay, and it goes right along too with the Knight of Swords here. The thing about the Devil card is that it can be a little isolating. And I feel like you're okay with that. You know, this is kind of, between these two anyway, this is you like, you don't care if people single you out. You don't care if if everybody's looking at you. You're in class, you raise your hand, you stand up, you say, I know the answer. And everyone's going to be looking at you. You're okay with that. Right? You don't need anybody to hold your hand. You don't need anybody to give you permission. You don't need anybody to follow you or to lead you up the mountain. No, you're a self-led individual. And I feel like you know what you want. And I feel with this Devil card that you know, or you will be coming to know, what mountain it is that you're going to be climbing. Now I want to see if I can figure it out. So let's do some more cards here. Underneath everything, Wheel of Fortune. I think you have this, see, now we got two major arcana cards. I feel like you've kind of found the treasure map of your own soul. I feel like you've had a realization that kind of said, I know where my fortunes lie. I know where my fortune and fame is, you know? And I feel like now there's nothing left to do but just finish packing and gathering our supplies and go climb the mountain, right? So I think it's been a real breakthrough for you in the sense of maybe you've figured out what you want to do. You figured out where your purpose is. You figured out kind of what Spirit has been showing you or slowly revealing to you as your destiny. Okay. And in a lot of ways, not the least of which is what I said before about how maybe you've been a little shy. You haven't really been the type to speak up. You know, you've been on the bottom of the wheel for some time, right? You know, between the rubber and the road, kind of getting squished. That wheel's turning, and I feel like you're headed towards the top of that. And so with that comes a real confidence. I feel like things have started to really improve in your life. I feel like you're noticing more strange coincidences, right? Meaningful coincidences, the synchronicities. I feel that you've been seeing more signs and symbols. But I feel as if strange things have been happening. Like strange, people might say, oh, it's just luck. It's just a coincidence, right? But I think it's happening so much that you're like, there's no way this is luck. You know, like you drop a glass of water off the table and it just kind of lands straight up, doesn't spill. Like, how does that happen? That can't happen, right? Maybe it could. It's not physically impossible. But when that happens a few times throughout the day or the week, it's like, okay, something's up here, right? And I think that, it's the idea of we're getting all green lights when we're on the boulevard. Every light just turns green as you are driving there. And it's like, this can't be just random coincidence. Okay? So I think Spirit is showing you that you really are on the right track here. And I think Spirit is leading you to this mountain that you are meant to climb. Yeah, more major arcana card. This is that illumination itself, right? And with the star card, we always talk about it in two phases. The first of which is the light coming in from above. Spirit is illuminating what's within you. Spirit is showering you with this light, right? So we're able to see who we are, what we're about, what we're made of. Able to see where our blockages are, where our kind of natural limitations are, and where perhaps our artificial limitations are, either imposed by ourselves or from others. Right? Full internal illumination and enlightenment. Clearing out all the blockages. Now you're filled with light. And some of that light is going to spill out from your fingertips or your eyeballs or whatever. And it's going to shine out into the world and illuminate the path before you. It's kind of like you are your own flashlight. And it's going to show you the path. And I think that's happened for you. And it might be something that you're still recapitulating, right? Because sometimes these spiritual events happen and we don't even really realize until after the fact. And we say, wait a minute, that thing that I went through, that period of time, that's what that was, right? And so I think that Spirit has revealed to you your path toward this mountain that you're about to climb. And I think that mountain that you're climbing is really getting to the top of this wheel. I think your fortunes are expanding. Your life is expanding. Your sense of self is expanding to include everything. I think your life is about to become incredibly amazing. Let's see what we're looking for. We're looking for strength, lust, passion. A lot of major arcana. The lust card is a Leo energy. This is a sustained enthusiasm. This is you feeling passionate about something, but it doesn't just fizzle out. It keeps going. This is an enthusiasm. This is a zeal that just does not quit, right? And I feel like this is how you know it's the right path for you. So I'm wondering, probably in your life you've had some experience with that. You've found a job or even a relationship, a friendship, an activity, a hobby, a sport that feels so amazing at the beginning, and you're just thrilled. You are just fired up over it, right? Really passionate, really enthusiastic. But then it wanes, and it fizzles out, and it's just, well, it wasn't for me. It's just, it was fun for a time, and now it's done. So when something doesn't fizzle out, when you wake up every day and you just say, I cannot wait to do this, I think that's a marker of something special, something unique. Okay. Now, it doesn't mean that there won't be days where we feel like, oh, I don't want to get up, I don't want to do this, I'm tired, That's always going to happen. There's going to be the fluctuation. The mental, emotional fluctuations will be there. This is spiritual energy. Major arcana, right? So beyond the just kind of the surface trivialities of our heart and mind that just say, I'm tired, I don't want to get out of bed today and go do it, there's an underlying motivation and enthusiasm that just says, I cannot wait to do this, even though I don't want to, and I'm tired and all that stuff. It's still there. Okay, and we have to be able to know the difference, because a lot of the time, when we encounter any kind of resistance from our heart or our mind, we think, oh, I'm done with it. It's not for me. A lot of us will run at the first sign of trouble, okay, myself included. But not you, not anymore. I feel like when something is just your heart and your mind just kind of complaining, right? Or if it's something fundamentally like, this is not my path. We think of the goat climbing the mountain. It's not all fun and games. It's not all just, banquets and, and languishing in the sunlight or whatever. It's hard work. And some days we're just going to feel tired and sore and worn out. Some days my heart's not going to be in it. Some days my mind's not going to be in it. But that does not mean that it's not your path, right? See, sometimes we're doing something that we really meant to do, but as soon as our body, our heart, or our mind start to complain, we sometimes get convinced that, oh, this must not be for me. See, some people, not naming any names, but they seem to think that your destiny should be effortless in a certain way. Now, I say that sometimes too. If it's your path, it's going to feel just smooth and effortless. There's still going to be bumps in the road. There's still going to be obstacles. There's still going to be days, ups and downs, right? We're still human beings. We still have a heart and a mind, right? That are affected by the fluctuating circumstances of life. So if it is your destiny to do this, it doesn't mean that there will never be a challenge. In fact, there may even be more challenges. Spirit's testing you to make sure that you can do this. Make sure that you're committed to this, right? But a lot of us, myself included, will run at the first sign of any kind of hardship, And maybe we do assume that, oh, this must not be my path. If it was my path, why is there an obstacle? Why is there a roadblock? Okay. Sometimes these are in our way as a test. Let's see what you're. Oh no! You see, you don't get an obstacle here. You get a Knight of Cups. This is the giving and receiving of love and affection. I think that love is a big part of your life right now, and I think it needs to be. I think you're looking forward to intimacy. I think you're looking forward to love and affection. It doesn't have to be romantic. It's platonic. It's romantic. It's self-love. It's divine love. It's all of it. Right? This is you feeling as if you can take your heart, whatever you feel in here, that you take it out and you can do that, be that, share that, communicate that out into the world. Very similar to the Knight of Swords that we saw, right? They're both knights. This is they're both about communication. One is a mental communication, intellectual, right? You voicing your opinions and standing up and asserting yourself and making yourself stand out from the crowd, right? By the words you say, by your ideas, by your speech, right? And then also emotionally, being confident, being proud of who you are and how you feel about things. I mean, this is your heart mind right here, right? And you're expressing your heart, you're expressing your mind, and I think an unprecedented way. I think it really is leading to amazing changes in your life. I think that through this kind of confidence and openness and willingness to share, and really again, I feel like at one point you were kind of shy. But I feel like now you know who you are, and you love who you are, you're confident in who you are. Because remember, the star card illuminated everything inside. And I think you really caught a glimpse of how beautiful you are, right? Heart and mind, body and soul. And you're not scared in any way to be that out in the world. And I think that's giving you the greatest chance in the universe of attracting those things to you that you really want. This is really nice. I love the Knight of Cups. I love this idea of finding joy, finding intimacy, finding connection, even if it's just like smiling at some stranger, holding the door for somebody, right? Just these random acts of kindness, the gestures, the small gestures and the big ones, and the way that we receive that from other people. Finding those sorts of connections in your life in very, very big, grand ways and also in little ways, right? Forging those deep, intimate bonds with the people you care about, and just these fleeting connections with strangers, and also just appreciating life, your pets, your plants, right? Your people. Expressing yourself in those ways. It's very, very good. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. And we are just going to set it down right here. We're going to put Jimbo the Lizard King, aka Mr. Lizard, right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together and give us our confirmation. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's totally free, and it really does support the channel, and this channel is supported by viewers like you, and I appreciate that. So thank you. Okay, general energy, Path of the Serpent, more court cards. Very interesting today so far. We have major arcana and we have court cards. So we've got the spiritual you, and then we've got everybody else in the world, right? And I think that really is very, very indicative of the nature of this reading so far, that it really is this realization of yourself as a spiritual being, as a unique and powerful and beautiful spiritual being, now out in the world amongst all of the other unique characters of the world, right? So the fact that we have 3 court cards tells me this is about your relationship with other people, right? And just either particular people or in general, just, people. The Prince of Swords is also that fixed air energy. This is saying that you're not indecisive again. You're not changing your mind back and forth. This is the commitment to a decision that you're making. Even if it's this decision that says, I'm going to go and be more social. I'm making it a point to, to at least be the initiator of one conversation every day. Even if it's just, I'll be the first to say hello, or I'll be the first to make some sort of gesture or effort. I'll start at least one kind of interaction every day. Rather than what I think maybe you used to do would be to wait, right? That you were not really initiating that, but responding to other people. Someone says hi, you say hi. Someone smiles, you smile back, right? Someone holds the door, you hold the next door or whatever, right? Rather than being the one to initiate that. And there's a difference there. But this card is all about the mental decision. It's kind of like it's a fact, it's a statement, and maybe it's an affirmation or a mantra that you have, and it's sticking in our mind. It's almost, maybe it is kind of like this affirmation, and you know what? It's a good time to do a language of flowers affirmation. Because I feel like this is one thought that you're keeping in your mind. It's very concentrated thought. It's a very concentrated belief. So we could be talking about communication. Well, yeah. How accurate is that? See, I don't, this isn't me, okay? I'm literally just the conduit for this energy. Communication, listen and speak with greater care. And I feel like that is maybe the mantra. That's the one concentrated thought that you're trying to hold on to. You know, however you phrase that to yourself, I don't know. But listen and speak with care, right? Listen and speak with affection. Listen and speak with confidence and openness, right? And I think this is the method. This is the protocol by which you're getting to the top of this mountain and you're really changing your life. And your life is just going to keep improving, right? It's like you've read that book. I don't know how to communicate with people to have an amazing life. I don't know what it is. Next card here, the Emperor. More spiritual energy, more major arcana. It's going to be something strange if we just get major arcana and court cards. I'm gonna do a backflip off this table if we do. The Emperor in the environment, I think, is very, very telling. Yeah, because maybe you have let other people dominate the conversation, right? We could look at this kind of as this is the environment. This is the card of the environment. Your relationships with the environment. That we could have maybe been in this mode where it's not a bad thing, but we just let other people kind of take the reins, or we let other people initiate the conversation. We have just kind of other people have decided things. You know, somebody says, you know, hey, do you want to go do this today? And you think, yeah, okay. You know, rather than you saying, hey, I got an idea, let's go, you know, surfing or whatever. And so we tend to be led by other people's initiative. Friends, family members, lovers, romantic partners, spiritual leaders, religious leaders, people at work, all these things, you know. It's kind of, it's letting other people start the conversation first. That I'm not going to, and I've been this way too. You know, we're in a coffee shop or something and we don't say anything to anybody. We don't greet anybody. We don't smile. We're just there, standing there. We're waiting for something to act upon us before we act. We're in that kind of response sort of thing. And I feel like that's kind of in some ways, our magical circle is a little bit too permeable. That we are not acting willfully and intentionally, that we are just responding to the environment. You know, like an amoeba or something, I don't know. But I think that this is showing now the other side of that. That you're out in the environment and in your relationships, you suddenly have this surge of power and confidence. That you're walking into the office and just saying it, you know, loud and proud, hello everybody, I'm here, you know. And everybody's like, oh yeah, Taurus is here, you know. But you are different in some way, I think is the point here. You're taking more of the initiative. You're taking it upon yourself to start the conversation, to ask people the questions, you know, to direct the energy of the room how you want it to go, what you want the vibe to be, rather than walking into the office and just kind of whatever's going on there, you're just going to kind of react to it and kind of blend into it, right? No, you kind of walk in and you're doing things of your own accord. You're taking the initiative. You're the one that's going to walk in with the donuts and say, guess what? We're having donuts today. You know, it's the spontaneous, I think, expression of who you are. And it really is a very powerful feeling here and a very confident feeling. Yeah, taking some agency over our lives. This is really wonderful. What is the obstacle to all this, or what is maybe the fear? 5. The obstacle, I think, is to get carried away with that. Well, at least I don't have to do a backflip because we finally have some pip cards, some small, minor arcana cards. The 5 of Wands really is us knowing when we're being a little bit of an a-hole, you know. The Emperor has that tendency. So I'm glad we have a little bit of a check and balance on the Emperor, because the Emperor could walk into a room and really just take over, be dominating and domineering, be bossy, be manipulative, be aggressive. We don't want that. We want it to be, you know, smooth. We want it to be connected. We want it to be humble but still confident and assertive. We want it to be passionate and loving and intimate, and not just fire, right? Not just bossing people around and saying, no, this is what we're doing today. You know, like it, take a hike, right? So the Five of Wands is us knowing how to control, knowing how to turn down the fire and the dynamics of life, right? You don't want to be that person that just walks into a room and just sucks all the air out of it, right? And just says it's all about me. Everybody else goes quiet. No, I'm just up here, you know, lecturing or something. It's about the dynamics, you know. And so it's not just about being the one that goes in and does all the talking. You know, because remember, moth orchid, communication, listen and speak with greater care. This is you showing the care. This is you, it's like I use the analogy of like this big person, big strong muscles, right? And they're holding a delicate little bird. And that's kind of what we have to be. We have to be aware of our own power, but it doesn't mean that everything we touch, we just have no control over. We just like, you know, we'll crush boulders and like bowling balls, you know, we'll just disintegrate in our hands because we can't control our strength, you know. So it's not about just dominating the conversation or dominating life or being the one that does all the talking. But it's about doing things with dynamics and with intention. And that's how you're changing, that's how you're creating all of this amazing, that's how we are manifesting this Wheel of Fortune. Okay, now final outcome here. That might need some clarification. That's a Seven of Cups. That's not what we want, right? That's not what we want. Maybe that naturally follows from the Five, right? Or from if we fail at this, this might be what we would end up with. And this is really something that is a beautiful, beautiful succulent tree of just the ripest, I don't know, apples or plums or whatever you like. But through our mismanagement of our power, we spoiled it. Okay? Your life is about to become incredibly amazing. We don't want to spoil it by being too assertive or too dominant. It's the idea here that the Emperor kind of thinks, well, you know, I've got 1,000,000 gallons of water. I might as well just give it all to this tree and it'll grow bigger, right? The more the merrier, right? More is better. Plants like a little bit of water and they grow a little bit. Maybe if I give them a lot of water, they'll grow a lot. So we overdo it, right? We and I think we all know people like that. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's fine. Everybody do you, you know. But we have those people that are confident, but almost too much, where it becomes arrogance, and they just it feels as if it's forced almost. It feels as if it's trying to really overcompensate, and that does spoil what would be a very beautiful situation. So I think it's perfect that you're tempered here with the Five of Wands and the Knight of Cups, right? So, and you have this kind of fixed idea in mind. You keep this thought close to you, that the talking, it's about the dynamics, listening and speaking with greater care, right? Asserting ourselves and also yielding. Speaking up and speaking loud and initiating conversation, but then we've got to listen too. We've got to allow the other people to respond. We got to allow the universe to respond to us. This is very important here. Let's look at the mystery card. I kind of don't have a prediction. I started to think of the Chariot card, maybe. Especially, you know, because we have all this fire energy now over here with the Emperor and the Five of Wands. And I think of somebody who's driving a car, right? And, you know, let's say a race car driver. You want to win the race, right? You want to be the best, right? And so you're being bold. You're making the first move. You're not shy. You're not cowering back. You're taking the risk. You're taking the initiative. You're going to hit the gas and pass people up. You're trying to win, right? Trying to express yourself and be the best that you can be. But you also know how, you have to know how to slow down and ease into the corners. You have to know how to brake. You have to know when to let someone pass you up is okay. You got to know when to take your pit stop, that sort of thing, right? So I kind of want to see a chariot here because the dynamics really work in the chariot. The idea of kind of, knowing when to speed up and slow down, but still being that very confident driver. You ever see like a driver on the road that's very timid? And they're just really, really slow and nervous, and they everybody's passing them up, and they need to get over to exit the freeway, and they're not confident at all. They're very nervous. They'll put their blinker on, and they'll kind of scooch over, and then they'll swing back, and they don't really know what to do. Very timid, right? That's not what we want. That's dangerous. But nor do we want to be that other a-hole on the road that is just speeding and tailgating and passing everybody up and being reckless, right? So we need the dynamics. I'm thinking chariot anyway, but I would be happy with another Wheel of Fortune, a 9 or a 10 of Pentacles. Let's see what we have. Oh my gosh, there we go. There we go, Chariot card, perfect. Perfect. I think that this is you taking the initiative, realizing that this is your path, right? I think that you are on this journey, and you're not shying away from it. It's kind of like the devil here is climbing that mountain. You're on this path, and I feel that your life is going to become incredibly amazing. Now, of course, with the chariot too, it reminds us that the road is not always smooth and flat. It'd be boring if it was. So there's going to be turns. There's going to be hills. There's going to be potholes in places, right? There's going to be speed bumps somewhere. You got to pay attention. But you're still on the path. If you're driving somewhere, if you're on this path that's meant for you, just because there's maybe some construction or a pothole or a roadblock or something, it doesn't mean that it's not your path. It doesn't mean that you turn around and go home. Maybe you got to take a detour. Maybe you got to go around the obstacle. Maybe we have to go right through it sometimes, But you're well on your way. And I think this is really beautiful energy for you. I'm very happy. We're going to do an extended reading. If you want to watch it, there's a link up top. There's one down below. New readings for Taurus, Monday and Friday, 6 a.m. Chicago time. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. It doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you, and I love you, and we're all in this together.